The grocery store landscape is shifting, and it's hitting where it hurts the most. Our wallets, everyday essentials like bread, milk, and rice, once affordable and abundant, are now creeping out of reach for many families. Prices are skyrocketing at an unprecedented pace, leaving shoppers stunned as they navigate aisles filled with rising costs. This isn't just about inflation, it's a deeper shift that's turning basic necessities into premium items. What used to be staples of every household are now forcing tough choices at checkout. In this video, we're diving into the hidden reasons behind this dramatic change and revealing the top 10 products you need to grab before they become even harder to afford. Trust us, what you'll learn might completely change how you shop and how you see your next supermarket trip. Let's uncover the truth together. Powdered milk. The vanishing pantry essential. Powdered milk, once a household staple known for its practicality and affordability, is now slipping out of reach for many families. For decades, it served as a reliable backup when fresh milk was either too expensive or unavailable. Its long shelf life, ease of use, and nutritional value made it a go-to option for countless households. However, the rising costs of dairy production, coupled with expensive packaging and soaring energy prices, have turned powdered milk into a product that no longer fits the affordable label it once proudly wore. The role of powdered milk in family nutrition cannot be overstated. It is a rich source of calcium, protein, and essential vitamins, making it particularly vital for children's growth and development. For families without consistent access to refrigeration or fresh dairy, powdered milk was a lifeline, ensuring that nutrition was never compromised, even during tough times. But as prices continue to climb, this once dependable source of sustenance is becoming a luxury item for many. The implications of this shift are profound. The rising cost of powdered milk is not just a reflection of inflation, it is a direct blow to the health and well-being of vulnerable families. Alternatives to powdered milk are limited and often less practical. Fresh milk, for instance, is equally affected by rising prices, while plant-based options like almond or soy milk are far more expensive and less accessible. Powdered milk was the affordable bridge that connected millions to essential nutrition. If its cost continues to rise, one of the simplest ways to ensure a balanced diet will disappear from the shelves of everyday life, leaving families scrambling for alternatives that may not exist. 2. Rice. The endangered staple of the world. Rice, a universal dietary cornerstone, is rapidly losing its status as the most affordable and accessible food staple. Across continents from Asia to Africa to Latin America, rice has been the foundation of meals for centuries. Its affordability, versatility, and ability to provide sustenance for large families made it a symbol of food security. However, the tides are turning. Climate change, export restrictions, and supply chain disruptions have caused rice prices to surge, transforming this once reliable staple into a source of financial strain for millions. The importance of rice extends far beyond its economic value. It is deeply embedded in cultural traditions and daily rituals. For billions of people, rice is not just an ingredient, it is a way of life. Families who once purchased large sacks of rice to feed their households for weeks are now forced to cut back, reduce portion sizes, or turn to less satisfying substitutes. The emotional and cultural impact of this shift is as significant as the financial burden. Losing access to rice is not just about hunger, it is about losing a piece of identity and tradition. The harsh reality is that rice has no true replacement. While foods like pasta or potatoes can fill the gap in some regions, they lack the cultural resonance and comfort that rice provides. Moreover, these substitutes are also experiencing price hikes, making them less viable as alternatives. If rice continues to grow more expensive, it risks becoming a symbol of inequality, dividing households into those who can afford it and those who cannot. The loss of rice as an affordable staple would mark a devastating shift in global food security, leaving millions to grapple with the consequences. 3. Honey. The sweetness that's slipping away. Honey, once a pantry staple and a natural alternative to refined sugar, is now becoming a luxury item. For centuries, it has been cherished not only for its sweetness, but also for its health benefits. Honey is one of the few sweeteners that offers genuine nutritional value, boasting antibacterial and healing properties that have been used in traditional medicine for generations. However, the declining bee populations, unpredictable weather patterns, and rising production costs have driven honey prices to unprecedented levels, making it increasingly inaccessible for the average household. the loss of honey is more significant than many realize. Beyond its role as a sweetener for tea or toast, honey has been a symbol of natural health and wellness. Families that once relied on it as a healthier alternative to processed sugar are now forced to abandon it, turning instead to artificial syrups and cheaper substitutes. These alternatives, while more affordable, lack the unique flavor and nutritional benefits of honey, leaving a void that cannot be easily filled. The rising cost of honey is not just a reflection of inflation, it is a symptom of a larger environmental crisis. The decline in bee populations, driven by habitat loss, pesticide use, and climate change, threatens not only honey production but also the pollination of countless crops. If this trend continues, honey may shift from being an everyday food to an unattainable luxury. A stark reminder of the environmental challenges we face. The disappearance of honey from everyday life would not only impact our diets, but also serve as a sobering symbol of the fragility of our ecosystems. 4. Instant coffee. The fading morning ritual. Instant coffee, long celebrated as the most affordable and convenient way to enjoy a cup of coffee at home, is now teetering on the edge of becoming a luxury. For decades, it provided the comfort and ritual of a daily brew, without the high cost of freshly brewed or cafe coffee. However, rising global coffee bean prices, driven by crop failures and climate change in major producing countries, are pushing even instant coffee out of reach for many families. Coffee is more than just a beverage, it is a cultural ritual, a source of energy, and a moment of solace in the chaos of daily life. Instant coffee, in particular, has been the drink of the working class, offering affordability and convenience in a single scoop. But as prices climb, families are being forced to reconsider whether they can continue to enjoy something that once felt essential. The alternatives are limited. Tea, another popular option, is also experiencing price increases, while energy drinks and sodas are not only more expensive, but also less healthy. The rising cost of instant coffee is a stark reminder of how even the simplest comforts are becoming symbols of privilege. For millions, the morning ritual of a hot cup of coffee is more than just a habit, it is a small but significant source of joy and stability. If instant coffee continues to grow more expensive, it risks becoming yet another everyday item that is no longer accessible to all, leaving families to grapple with the loss of a simple but cherished tradition. Pasta, the priceless comfort food. Pasta, a beloved staple in kitchens around the world, is quickly losing its reputation as an affordable and dependable food. Whether it's spaghetti, penne, or fusilli, pasta has long been the go-to option for feeding families on a budget. Its versatility, ease of preparation, and ability to stretch meals made it a cornerstone of countless diets. However, the rising cost of wheat, combined with increasing energy and transportation expenses, has driven pasta prices to record highs, transforming this once basic ingredient into a luxury item. The cultural significance of pasta makes this shift particularly painful. From Italian culinary traditions to everyday meals in households across the globe, pasta has always represented comfort, routine, and affordability. Families who once relied on it for quick and inexpensive meals are now cutting back or turning to lower quality options that compromise both taste and nutrition. This change is not just about money, it is about losing one of the most universal foods in human history. The problem is that substitutes for pasta are no better. Rice and bread, two other staples, are also facing significant price hikes, while processed foods that appear cheaper often lack the nutritional value of pasta. The rising cost of pasta is a stark reminder of how even the most basic and essential foods are becoming inaccessible to many. If this trend continues, pasta will no longer be the food of the people but rather another symbol of inequality, dividing households into those who can afford it and those who cannot. The loss of pasta as an affordable staple would mark a profound shift in global food culture, leaving families to navigate a world where even the simplest comforts are out of reach. 6. Olive oil, the liquid gold of the kitchen. Olive oil, once a staple in kitchens worldwide, is now becoming an unattainable luxury for many households. For decades, it was the go-to ingredient for everything from frying to dressing salads, adding a touch of richness and health to countless recipes. However, the price of olive oil has skyrocketed in recent years, driven by severe droughts in major producing countries like Spain, Italy, and Greece. These nations, which have long been the backbone of global olive oil production, are grappling with the devastating effects of climate change. Coupled with global inflation and rising transportation costs, these factors have turned olive oil into a product that many families can no longer afford to keep in their pantries. The health benefits of olive oil make its rising cost particularly disheartening. Packed with antioxidants and healthy fats, olive oil has been celebrated for its role in promoting heart health and longevity. For families who have embraced Mediterranean diets, olive oil is more than just a cooking ingredient. It's a cornerstone of their approach to wellness. Replacing it with cheaper alternatives like sunflower, soybean, or canola oil not only compromises flavor, but also sacrifices the unique health benefits that olive oil provides. Unfortunately, even these substitutes are becoming more expensive as shortages ripple through the cooking oil market. The loss of olive oil as an affordable kitchen essential is a blow to both culinary traditions and public health. Its unique combination of flavor and nutrition has made it irreplaceable in many households. If prices continue to climb, olive oil may truly live up to its nickname as liquid gold, not just for its value in the kitchen, but for its growing inaccessibility to ordinary families. The thought of olive oil becoming a luxury item is a sobering reminder of how even the most basic and essential foods are being priced out of reach. 7. Canned beans. The vanishing budget hero. Canned beans, long regarded as the ultimate budget-friendly food, are no longer the cheap and reliable staple they once were. For generations, they have been a cornerstone of affordable nutrition, offering a convenient and long-lasting source of protein. Whether used in soups, stews, salads, or side dishes, canned beans have been a dependable way for families to put something healthy and filling on the table. However, rising costs of raw beans, metal for cans, and the energy required for processing have pushed prices to new heights, making even this symbol of reliability increasingly out of reach. The role of canned beans in global diets cannot be overstated. They have served as a protein-rich alternative to meat for households that couldn't afford animal products, providing essential nutrients at a fraction of the cost. For many families, canned beans were a safety net, a way to ensure that there was always something nutritious in the pantry. But as prices rise, this safety net is fraying, leaving low-income households with fewer options for healthy eating. While dry beans remain a cheaper option per pound, they come with their own set of challenges. Soaking and cooking dry beans require time, energy, and resources that not every household can spare. Canned beans, on the other hand, offered a rare balance of convenience, nutrition, and affordability. Losing them as an accessible option threatens to push families toward processed junk foods, erasing years of progress in promoting healthy eating habits. If the trend continues, canned beans may no longer be the budget hero they once were, but another casualty of rising food costs. 8. Chocolate. The sweet treat turning bitter. Chocolate, once a simple and affordable indulgence, has become one of the most striking examples of inflation in the food market. For years, it was a treat that brought joy to both children and adults, a small luxury that could brighten any day. Whether it was a bar of chocolate, a piece of cake, or a holiday gift, chocolate was woven into the fabric of celebrations and everyday life. However, the rising cost of cocoa, driven by poor harvests in West Africa and escalating shipping and energy expenses, has turned chocolate into a luxury item that many families can no longer afford. The cultural significance of chocolate makes its rising cost particularly painful. It is more than just a sweet treat. It is a symbol of comfort, joy, and togetherness. From birthday parties to holiday traditions, chocolate has played a central role in creating memories and bringing people together. But as prices surge, families are being forced to cut back, leaving a void that goes beyond flavor. The loss of chocolate as an affordable treat is a loss of tradition and the simple pleasures that make life sweeter. Substitutes for chocolate, such as artificial candies and sweets, fail to measure up. They lack the richness, depth, and quality that real chocolate provides. The rising cost of cocoa is not just reshaping shopping lists, it is reshaping traditions and memories. If chocolate continues to climb in price, it may shift from being an everyday indulgence to a rare luxury, reserved only for special occasions or those who can still afford it. The thought of chocolate becoming a symbol of privilege is a bitter pill to swallow for families who once saw it as an ordinary way to add sweetness to life. 9. Jam. The disappearing breakfast companion. Jam, the colorful and sweet spread that has brightened breakfast tables for generations, is another everyday food that is slipping out of reach. Rising fruit prices combined with the soaring costs of sugar, glass jars, and transportation have made jam significantly more expensive. What was once a staple in households around the world is now a product that many families think twice about buying. The loss of jam as an affordable option is not just about economics, it is about losing one of the simplest joys tied to daily life. The importance of jam goes beyond its role as a breakfast spread. It carries tradition and memory, from homemade recipes passed down through generations to the comfort of childhood breakfasts and family meal. The slow disappearance of jam from households is a loss of these traditions and the warmth they bring. Cheaper artificial spreads are available, but they come loaded with sugar, additives, and artificial flavorings that cannot replace the natural taste and authenticity of real fruit jam. For families forced to switch to these alternatives, the loss is not just about quality but also about the sense of authenticity and connection that jam brought to the table. If current trends continue, jam could move from being a common staple to a nostalgic luxury, remembered more than consumed. The thought of jam disappearing from breakfast tables is a poignant reminder of how even the simplest pleasures are being priced out of reach. 10. Peanut butter. The priceless protein spread. Peanut butter, once one of the most affordable and versatile sources of protein, is also becoming alarmingly expensive. For decades, it has been a staple in households, a reliable and comforting part of everyday life. From school lunches to quick breakfasts, peanut butter has been a go-to option for families looking to stretch their budgets without sacrificing nutrition. However, the rising costs of peanuts, combined with manufacturing, packaging, and distribution expenses, have pushed peanut butter far beyond its original status as a budget-friendly staple. The cultural significance of peanut butter makes its rising cost particularly painful. It is more than just food, it is a part of childhood memories, a symbol of comfort, and a vital source of nutrition. Peanut butter provides protein, healthy fats, and energy at a low cost, making it an essential food for households trying to make ends meet. But as prices climb, families are being forced to reconsider whether they can continue to afford this once basic item. Alternatives to peanut butter, such as almond or cashew butter, are even more expensive, while cheaper artificial spreads are loaded with sugar and additives. This leaves families with few good options, forcing them to choose between paying higher prices or settling for lower quality substitutes. If peanut butter continues to climb in cost, it may no longer be the everyday staple it once was, but a symbol of how even the simplest foods are being priced out of reach. The loss of peanut butter as an affordable option is a stark reminder of the growing challenges families face in maintaining a balanced and nutritious diet. Bonus point 1. Butter. The golden spread under pressure. Butter, a kitchen essential for cooking, baking, and spreading on toast, is now facing a steep climb in price, making it less accessible for many households. For years, butter was a versatile and affordable ingredient, loved for its rich flavor and ability to elevate even the simplest dishes. However, the rising costs of dairy production, driven by higher feed prices, labor shortages, and energy costs, have turned butter into a luxury item for many families. The importance of butter goes beyond its culinary uses. It is a symbol of comfort and tradition, often associated with home-cooked meals, holiday baking, and family gatherings. The rising cost of butter is not just a financial burden, it is an emotional one, as families are forced to cut back on an ingredient that has been a part of their lives for generations. While margarine and other substitutes are available, they lack the flavor and quality of real butter, leaving a noticeable gap in taste and satisfaction. If butter continues to rise in price, it may become a rare indulgence rather than a kitchen staple. This shift would not only impact home cooking, but also the food industry, as bakeries and restaurants struggle to maintain quality while managing costs. The loss of butter as an affordable option is a reminder of how even the most basic and beloved ingredients are being affected by global economic pressures. Bonus point 2. Eggs. The fragile foundation of meal. Eggs, long considered one of the most affordable and versatile sources of protein, are now becoming a costly commodity. For decades, eggs have been a staple in households around the world, used in everything from breakfast dishes to baked goods. However, the rising costs of feed, labor, and transportation, coupled with outbreaks of avian flu, have caused egg prices to soar, leaving families scrambling to adjust their grocery budgets. The role of eggs in nutrition and cooking is unparalleled. They are a rich source of protein, vitamins, and minerals, making them a vital part of a balanced diet. For many families, eggs were an affordable way to ensure that meals were both nutritious and satisfying. But as prices climb, households are being forced to cut back, turning to less nutritious and often more expensive alternatives. The loss of eggs as an affordable option is a significant blow to both home cooks and the food industry. From scrambled eggs at breakfast to cakes and pastries, eggs are a foundational ingredient that is difficult to replace. If prices continue to rise, eggs may become a luxury item reserved for special occasions rather than everyday meal. This shift would not only impact family budgets, but also the way we cook and eat, highlighting the far-reaching effects of rising food costs. Bonus point 3. Cheese. The melting treasure. Cheese, a beloved ingredient in cuisines around the world, is now becoming a luxury item as prices continue to climb. From cheddar to mozzarella to brie, cheese has long been a staple in households, adding flavor and richness to meals. However, the rising costs of milk, labor, and transportation have made cheese increasingly expensive, forcing families to reconsider how often they can afford to include it in their diets. The cultural and culinary significance of cheese cannot be overstated. It is a key ingredient in countless dishes, from pizza and pasta to sandwiches and charcuterie boards. For many, cheese is more than just food, it is a source of comfort and joy. The rising cost of cheese is not just a financial issue, it is an emotional one, as families are forced to cut back on an ingredient that brings so much pleasure and satisfaction. While cheaper cheese alternatives exist, they often lack the flavor and quality of real cheese, leaving a noticeable gap in taste and enjoyment. If cheese continues to rise in price, it may become a rare treat rather than a regular part of meal. This shift would not only impact family budgets, but also the food industry, as restaurants and producers struggle to adapt to changing costs. The loss of cheese as an affordable option is a reminder of how even the most cherished foods are being affected by global economic challenges.